females to produce ovum, and then evolve into males to produce sperm. The sex change has a specific purpose: to maintain the balance within the population and underpin the survival of the species. Groupers, as most wild animals, must first courtship and then copulate. Couples swim in circles close to one another in an act similar to dancing that brings them into contact. Courting stimulates the release of sperm and eggs into the water, and the circle of life is set anew to start all over once again. Other striking life forms roaming these reefs are morays and eels. Their bodies long, muscular, and flexible, with thick skin and small scales. Their skins produce a mucus coating for protection against germs and parasites. These creatures stay in their domains during the day, systematically opening and closing their mouths, pumping water in and slushing it out through their gills to breathe. They are lone predators of nighttime action. Although their eyesight is not well developed, their sense of smell is keen and reliable, used to locate their prey nestled in coral formations. Carnivores with dozens of curved teeth, morays commonly clutch their victims with their jaws. They play a critical role in reef life by eliminating populations of old, sick, and wounded animals. It's their contribution to preserve the cycle and balance of marine life. All have the same general look, but come in different sizes, colors, and skin patterns. Grunts and porkfish are known so for the sound they make when rubbing their pharyngeal teeth. The different species mingle during the day to form small groups of schools. They remain inactive, rocking with the current in a safe place along the reef. These fish are referred to as chakchis in the Yucatan Peninsula, which in Mayan means red mouth. Chromies are plentiful in Caribbean reefs. During the day, they roam over coral heads and schools feeding on plankton. Other fish keeping a close relationship with the reef are surgeonfish, called so for a spine nestled inside the sheath on both sides of the caudal peduncle, which is much like a surgeon's scalpel. When threatened, they brandish it to the ready position. This sheath is of a different color in each individual. As herbivores, they help keep coral formations free of algae. Few fish on the reefs share these feeding habits. Apparently, it's necessary to have a long digestive system to process plant matter, especially to digest a type of marine algae commonly found around the Yucatan Peninsula. Boxfish are the only fish with an armor or a structure of bone plaques with an opening for its mouth, eyes, nose, anus, and fins. This structure is rounded in younger types and triangular in more mature adults. They feed by blowing water into the sand, uncovering small crustaceans roaming the sandy bottom, and presto. Filefish have an elongated spine right before their dorsal fin that they voluntarily engage when threatened. Some swim in couples along the reef, branded with different marks and colors. Triggerfish have strong and rugged jaws consistent with their feeding habits. They have the uncanny ability to move each eye independently. In Cozumel, it is common to see an ocean triggerfish swimming up current in mid-depth waters or beside the wall. During spawning, they deposit eggs in the sand and remain on guard to protect them. The Atlantic spadefish gets its name from its resemblance to a spade in a card deck. Schools of spadefish are often seen in open sea waters nearby the reef. Parrotfish are herbivores of daily habits. Their mouths have dozens of joined teeth that form corneal borders similar to a parrot's beak. They use these sharp tools to tear pieces of coral and calcareous rock swarmed with algae, to grind it, swallow, digest the algae, and expel the stone in the form of fine sand. Parrotfish go through different phases during their lifetime, changing color, marks, and even sex. Some species are hermaphrodites. And then some, like the princess parrotfish, produce a mucus substance at night to cover themselves from night predators. Trumpetfish have an exotic shape. They keep in hiding by keeping a vertical position within the branches of soft corals and gorgonians. In hiding, they expectantly await to catch their prey using their snout, which is fitted with a hook-like towing tool under the lower jaw. Splendid toadfish also live in the reefs of Cozumel, spending most of their time inside small holes below reef structures. They're endemic to Cozumel and are clearly very important for the island. These reefs are also home to the large-eyed toadfish, common to Caribbean waters. Brownish red, it has a big mouth and eyes. The spotted drum, jackknife fish, and the hi-hat, recalling the shape of their bodies, are among the most striking life forms on the reef. Juveniles have an elongated dorsal fin that can sometimes grow longer than their own body. As they reach maturity, the fin remains long, but to a lesser degree. The spotted drum, jackknife, and hi-hat all have similar patterns of alternating black and white stripes. As carnivores, their diet includes small crustaceans, mollusks, and worms. They are anatomically impaired for good swimming and accordingly during the day prefer to stay close to shelter. Almost all species of butterfly fish live in couples throughout their lives and are always seen together. Their long mouth is a natural evolution of their feeding behavior. Carnivores that feed daily they probe their long mouths within the coral surface to ingest polyps, coral mucus, and some invertebrates nestled there. The angelfish fills the reefs of Cozumel with color. Normally seen in couples, they sometimes engage into small schools. Adults swim longer distances than juveniles, who prefer to stay within a single area, feeding on ectoparasites drawn from other fish. Adults and juveniles of the same species are completely different from each other. Not much unlike us humans, I guess. In addition to these fish, Cozumel is home to 3 different kinds of sea turtle. The loggerheads, roaming shallow waters nearby the reefs. They reach their sexual peak between the ages of 12 and 30. During the nesting season, loggerheads lay their eggs on the island's beaches. Their huge head and jaws designed to crush and grind. Survival tools of these mostly meat lovers. Green turtles are equipped with finely serrated jaws to accommodate their vegetarian diet, which they will stick to into adulthood. As do the loggerheads, green turtles periodically visit the island to lay their eggs on the beach. And finally, the Hawksbill Turtle, of brown shades and beautiful tones on its shell. The shell is elliptic, studded with integrated panels. Their snout is pointed like a bird's beak, with cutting edges and a powerful jaw. These are the most tropical of all turtles, living in shallow or deep reefs. Juveniles tend to gather in a single area. While adults migrate from foraging areas to reproduction grounds during specific times of the year. Coral reefs are their forage habits of choice, directly related to their diet, which includes generous servings of sponges. This species does not lay its eggs on the beaches of Cozumel, but it is still the most common sight along the reefs surrounding the island. Cozumel is the drift diving capital of the world. Currents here will oftentimes run at 2